Today I'm going to be breaking down the fastest way that you can get to 25K a month with your marketing agency and the exact steps they're going to take, the dependables of how it works, and exactly how I'll go about doing it. The reason why I have this information is because within RSC, we work with 2 marketing agencies, and our goal with them is to scale them 25K per month. This is the exact roadmap we're following. I've seen success taking them from 0 all the way up to 10, 15 clients, which they're at right now. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. Here it is. Here is the 0 to 25K a month roadmap in the fastest way possible, in my opinion. Like I was mentioning before, this is a document that we've used in the private RSC where we work for agencies. This is not a YouTube video by any means. Just wanted to post this, walk through it to refresh myself and to maybe give some value to people watching. So let me take a look into how it all works. Cool. So first things first is we're going to organize business operations and we're going to set up efficient communication systems. This is all the time frame going from 0 to 5K a month. And the whole goal here is really just connect case studies, get our foot in the door with our agency. And this can honestly, as I'll talk about a little bit later in the video, this is what most people will take, 6 months to 12 months to do. It is the hardest part about starting your agency. And, just depending on how much energy you're willing to put in, you can either take a very short period of time or you can take a very long period of time. So the first thing we do is organize our business operations. So what this looks like is honestly just making sure all the SOPs we have, all the tracking stuff that we have, all of our client CRMs, outreach tracking, etc., is just put into one place. And put honestly, just very blunt, this and the set of communication systems is just one big Notion asset. It's extremely simple and extremely easy to do. And let me actually pull up this. This is here's an example of what it will look like. And I won't show too much, but it's honestly just a Notion asset full of everything that we go through with this particular client. And that would be an example of the business operation and efficient communication system. Next thing, and this is the phase of the agency that can take most people anywhere from 2 weeks, as I say here, all the way up to 2 years, a year of just consistent grind, because really what it's dependent on is the amount of energy you're willing to put forth into your agency up front. And this is going to be in the process of dialing in your outreach scripts so that you can actually book appointments consistently. And as soon as you get these appointments, dialing in your sales process so that you can close people. And only way to learn this is just time in, time out, right? Even if you are a sales expert, time in, time out is going to be very important just for learning the specific niche and how to close in that specific niche. So you're going to have to put the time in here. And ultimately, it's just a game of who can put in the most time, who can put in the most energy, who can put in the most reps in order to learn this part. And it's done through creating a mousetrap offer up here. So the way this works, and let me pull myself all the way down here so I can show you how a mousetrap offer works. Go to the pencil very quickly. So what we do, and I'll imagine this is cheese. So this is our cheese. We position our mousetrap offer as they go for the cheese, right? And the cheese a lot of the time is going to be quote unquote free consulting. Free consulting for X reason. Right, so if you have no experience, this X reason is going to be a little bit harder to find, but you can still definitely come up with something in most cases, right? So as an example, Dylan Wilson's mousetrap offer, you might know he works with a lot of these projects, and it's one of the owners of RSC. So his mousetrap offer when he was running his gym agency was that he'd help you optimize your offer the same way he did for this gym called Twist, right? And that would be the X reason why he can offer and is valid to give this free consulting. And because of that, people were interested in learning how Twist got this desired result and how he was the person who pulled it off for them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the people with this cheese, and then once they get on the call, right, we're going to provide them the cheese. So we're going to actually give them the cheese, and then we're going to try and convert them into a client. But ultimately, if they don't go to a client, they can just go cheese, and then they can go into testimonial, right? And that is a quote unquote our evil desire behind it. This is not the actual planned route that we go for, so I'm going to a little bit cross that out. It is very possible we're going through this process, but it's not what we aim for. Our goal is to get on the call, provide value for free, and get a testimonial. And by doing this in and out, the goal is to provide enough value here to where the prospect thinks, why don't I get this person to do it for me? And then they ask you, and then boom, that's a close. But in cases where that doesn't happen, we get a testimonial and we leave. And the reason why we dial in our sales process during this actual time is because doing this and providing all this value for free, we have to be able to provide a wow factor to our clients, which is very important for sales. And if we can convince people to say, that they want us to work for them, we can close them on a paid package. And that is why this process and this iteration loop is so important to go through in the process of actually scaling your agency and getting to that initial phase. And that is why such a big part of this is dialing in the outreach script to get on these free consulting calls. And once we're on these free consulting calls, learning how to either extract a very strong testimonial or turn them into a client. It doesn't have to be paid, it can be a free trial. And honestly, at this point, we're just signing on a bunch of free trial clients, because once you get our free trial clients, we just go through service delivery over and over and over again, looping for these free trial clients to try and get them some good results. And as soon as you have a result that's a 2x ROI, something extremely strong, we collect the case study and we can move on to the next phase. But what's really important is that we get through this process right over here, because if we don't get through this process of dialing in our outreach script and dialing in our sales process, we are going to be screwed. Because it's okay to be stuck here. Being stuck here is completely fine, because being stuck here, we can still do our outreach script, we can still do our mousetrap offer, which means we still get more testimonials, right? And more social proof, more everything is never a bad thing. But if we can't get on these consulting calls and we can't even get the testimonials, we are lagging behind in our agency growth. And that's why it's so important that we just put in all the energy, put forth all the energy required to just get these appointments, get these free appointments, get on these free calls, so that we can collect that social proof and really start to get our foot in the door, get a bunch of free trial clients, and then go through this loop of still collecting testimonials while servicing our free trial clients. As soon as we get a 2x ROI, we've now got our case study, and we can move forward onto the phase of actually scaling. So at this point, we'll have anywhere from 3 all the way up to like 7 free trial clients that we're working with. Our goal here is going to be to hypothesize what our offer improvement is going to be. So this is what Alex Hormozi talks about in the book 100 Mil Offers. You might have seen it. He talks about creating a one-on-one offer that is highly specific and is going to be extremely valuable. So as an example, if we're working with gyms, let's say we have an offer that costs $5,000 up front, and then it's commission all the way after that. And it's made specifically for female CrossFit gyms. Boom. Like, that is a highly specific offer that we can justify charging a lot for. And it will stand out to one in the market. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make it very difficult for the customers to leave and to try to increase their lifetime value. So this is the process of converting the free trial clients, so they're free, and then they're going to be converted, no thanks, into dollars. And that will be what the goal is for this process. And that's just going to be getting them good results, saying, hey, we can do this, here's the offer, and then if not, you can downsell them on commission of some sort. But the goal is to create a high lifetime value. And that is also done, just through having a very good case study. Because if you have the case study up here, you can justify charging it to the clients, even if you were working with them on a free trial before. Then we've been doing a lot of service delivery up until this point. All this outreach and sales process is still going on. We're still collecting case studies, but ultimately we're absolutely just brimming, right, with the amount of service delivery we're doing. And that's where we're going to start building out SOPs and really start dialing in a process that we can use over and over again to systemize our whole service delivery process. This is onboarding, client communication, however it might be, finding ads, tweaking ads, whatever it might be. As soon as we've done that, we're going to hire a fulfillment team. By fulfillment team, I mean one person. I mean one media buyer. And the way I would position this is an internship, an understudy, someone who can learn under you, and then you just teach them the ropes using these SOPs that you just created. Goal with that is to remove some of the weight off of our back. Ultimately, we're still going to be the head honcho for the ads at this point. It's still going to be running all out of us. Only reason we have this fulfillment person here is just so we can start the process of removing weight. And as soon as we have that, we're going to take it to the market. We're going to leverage our case study and build a whole funnel, indoctrination sequence, maybe even a VSL. Honestly, just showing everything we've done up until this point, all these testimonials, all the social proof we've built up. And then after that, it is time to scale through VA. And this, at this point, is going to be very simple. We pay, and using the paid money that we get from, this client over here, and these clients that we try and convert from free to paid, should have a little chunk of change saved up, roughly around $1,000. We can hire anywhere from 2 to 5 VAs. And the goal of these VAs is going to be to send out the first Instagram message, or first whatever platform you're using message on this, so that all you're doing is responding to people now, and you're just sending out a lot of messages and being seen everywhere. And you have your case studies, your testimonials up everywhere, and really just starting to position yourself as an authority. And at this point, you're going to build out, again, another quote-unquote internship. And this is going to be the appointment setting team. It's going to be someone you take under your wing, you teach them everything that you know about outreach, and then instead of you responding, they're going to be the one responding and put those appointments in for you now. Then At this point, you should have your fulfillment guy like really dialed in. At this point, should be starting to actually learn the service delivery a lot better. Your appointment setting team should be starting to run a lot better. So now it is time to actually improve our offer with more resources. So, excuse me, a little bit sick. An example of what improving our offer with more resources would actually look like is honestly just adding on more gimmicks, more softwares. So if we find out that we can put on ISAs because our clients aren't good at calling leads, that would be a great way to improve our offer. Then optimize our funnel. This is just based off the data we get from the outbound team, so there's nothing I can really say about that. Just about dependables of what data we receive. Increase sales percentage. This is done through being better at sales, just getting on a lot of calls and making it our main focus, right? Our main focus, just making sure we have a really good job at sales, and then increasing our no-show or decreasing our no-show rate. This is done through, personally calling up all the leads before the calls, having extensive follow-up campaigns, etc. Then team training. So it goes on to this hub that we had earlier here, all the way this organized business operations communication system, and take all the SOPs that we've stored in there up until now, convert it into a like a very centralized hub where everything is good to go. And then this, because I said this wasn't a quote unquote YouTube document, this is where RSC would leave. But ultimately, that is the fastest way from 0 to 25K per month. I wanted to quickly touch on again because I know I went over it very briefly in the beginning, but this is ultimately the hardest part about scaling your agency. And to be more specific, this is the hardest part about scaling your agency right here. Dialing in the outreach script. Dialing in the outreach script is just not easy by any means. It's not easy to figure out what outreach works, and if you haven't done it before, it is going to be the biggest barrier up for you because it requires so much time, it requires so many no's that you have to go through in order to actually see results. And to this, what I say is that the more energy you put in, the more energy that you will get out and the more result that you will make. Because ultimately, to briefly explain it, let's say that you have to put in 1,000 bits of energy in order to have a dialed in outreach script. The game of SMMA and why some people will see results in 2 weeks and some people will see results in 9 weeks or 9 months or 12 months is just because some people view 1,000 bits of energy as 12 hours for 2 weeks, and another person sees this as, maybe 3 hours every few days, and then it will take, 12 months. And the difference between these people is not that they're doing different things, right? There's no difference. They go through the exact same iteration loop. They go through the exact same process. Some people just do it faster than other people. And it's the exact same with absolutely everything past outreach, right? The reason why, you might see someone who has a bigger agency than you isn't because they didn't run into the same problem that you ran into. They probably ran into that problem before. The only difference is that they put in more energy so they get through that problem quicker. That's the only thing. Right, and it's very, very, very applicable to this actual outreach phase that I was talking about up here. So what you want to do is just put in as much energy as you can, get as much data as you can out, so you can ultimately decide what is going to be the best for you. And that being said, I hope the value that I provided in this video was worth the time that I stole. I know these are more uncut, raw videos. I'm a bit sick right now. I just wanted to break down a private RSC document, something that would otherwise never be shown to the public, wasn't meant for YouTube, to refresh myself and to hopefully give some of you guys value. So without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video.